So let's start out with Palestine stuff. Because if you thought it was done with the college campuses, it's not. It's not even close to being done. So over the weekend, there was a pro-Palestinian mob, which is what the post-millennial here calls it. But then if you go to CNN, it's a pro-Palestinian protest that was criticized as anti-Semitic. So reporting does matter. Post-millennial's more right-leaning. CNN, of course, is more left-leaning. So you get two different views on the exact same BS.
Alliteration, tongue twister in there, too.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun. But anyways, let's go through both of these articles just so we can talk about what happened over the weekend, and then we can discuss what it all means.
Okay.
But on Sunday, a California synagogue was targeted during a violent pro-Palestinian demonstration that turned into a bloody riot. They have a slightly different take over at CNN.
I imagine.
Yeah. Rioters assaulted journalists, deployed chemical sprays, and prevented Jews from entering their house of worship, and brutally beat multiple Israel supporters outside the synagogue. At least one was left bloodied, video footage showed. The violent clashes occurred at the synagogue in Los Angeles around 1:40 p.m. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators surrounded the house of worship and called for a bloody revolution. Jews formed a line in front of the synagogue to protect it, and the LAPD was forced to deploy crowd control munitions to deter unruly agitators, according to video footage. So, that went pear-shaped, like super fast. Not that that would be any kind of surprise. In CNN's version of it, pro-Palestinian protest held outside an LA synagogue devolved into chaotic street violence, with pro-Israel counter-protesters on Sunday in an incident that several officials, including Joe Biden, criticized as anti-Semitic. So their take on it is, well...
because people were showing up to worship, all of a sudden they were just showing up to the protest and not to actually go to their church.
Yeah, okay. They were pro-Israel counter-protesters rather than worshipers.
Rather than just going to church.
So, whatever. Chants of free Palestine from the river to the sea and long live Intifada could be heard from among the pro-Palestinian protesters. Participants blocked traffic, and video from the scene show multiple altercations broke out in the middle of the street and the sidewalks. Officers arrested a person with a spiked flag. I'm not exactly sure what that is.
I don't know either.
I know what spiked tea is. Or something like that. But
maybe they had a weapon at the end of their...
That could be. Yeah. Maybe nails drawn through the flagpole or something like that. But they arrested him. More information about why we're protesting. We get it already. Mayor Karen Bass of LA decried the incident. She called it horrible. I don't necessarily believe any of them. I think they like their violence, but that's just me. So,
maybe it was like a bayonet. That would be interesting.
I actually tried to look it up. I can't find anything on a spiked flag. All I get are these news articles talking about the protest.
It was some sort of
that's
handmade
good
weapon.
Definitely an interesting description, though.
Yeah.
Spiked flag.
I agree. But one thing I wanted to add, which isn't directly tied to the incident in LA, but if we go back to the stuff at Columbia... Over the weekend, Alvin Bragg, the DA in New York, the one who was also prosecuting Trump, he dropped the charges against, how many of the protesters was it? 31 of the 46 had their charges dropped.
Not surprising.
So, violence and taking over various campuses and all that is okay. So, I feel like we're just kind of in another situation where we're just going to have a bloody mess of a summer, just like back in 2020. What do you think, dear?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It makes for a good distraction to the actual election and what's going on with the people who are trying to control the country. So then we don't pay attention to either side's actual shortfalls.
So your argument would be that it's being fueled by those in power.
I don't think either side really dislikes it because like I said, it's a good distraction from everything that both sides has to lose.
Okay. I would actually think that Trump wouldn't even necessarily look at it as a distraction. I think he'd look at it as a campaign point. Like look at how the country is melting down. Now, he'd have to tread lightly there because in 2020, when he was in charge, it was melting down.
I was just going to say everything was falling apart when he was in charge before, and even though it was definitely not fueled by his side, he didn't really use any of that stuff as a campaign strategy.
Yeah. I don't know. I told everybody when this was going down with Columbia that it wasn't going to be done. Just because the students went home for the summer didn't mean anything. And it doesn't mean anything. The fact that they're taking it to the actual synagogues now, though, is dangerous.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's dangerous not only from an optics standpoint and how it's going to look, but heaven forbid that they try to storm into one of those synagogues. If they try to cross the threshold, then it is going to get messy.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're not going to play.
Yeah, no, something's going to go down in that scenario for sure. So even in a protest kind of case, that can get, very unsafe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that point. But
yeah,
I don't know if there's anything that's going to... I mean, I don't look at this as a cooler heads are going to prevail kind of situation.
No.
There are no cool heads here. Especially when we've got two groups that have been kind of at each other's throats since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. What do you think, Maggie? Is this a good thing?
I don't think it's necessarily a good thing all around.
No, I don't know. I don't see a way that the way things have been trending and the rhetoric in the media that this is going to be something that goes away peacefully or easily. I mean, just in the two articles that I read you, the viewpoints from the Post-Millennial and CNN, even those are so at odds reporting on the same event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all clearly divisive. There's this... The more and more we go down this road, the more and more the paths go like this.
It's a good point.
Well, it's a good point, and it's bad that I have to make that.
Oh, it's bad that they have to make the point, but
it's a bad point from that standpoint because the further and further we get apart, the more distance, more ground we have to cover to come back together.
Yeah,
and you can hear all day long with these two groups, the Israelis and the Palestinians, about how if they just get along, all right, good luck with that.
Yeah,
but they've never truly gotten along.
Yeah, no.
So that's a big bridge to cross and cover.
It's probably an impossible bridge, but they're all fighting over the same land, which I get it, I suppose. But then if you look at, again, why are we doing it here? This is the same thing we go back though to, is why here in the United States are we having these skirmishes? It doesn't make any sense to me because we have, number one, we have our own fish to fry. But even without those fish being fried, we're still the best country in the world, bar none, hands down, period.
Yeah.
For all our problems and everything else. And if you don't believe that, I've said it 1,000 times, why does everybody try to come here?
Yeah.
If we're so bad. So, at some point it would make sense to me to just shut up and enjoy what you have. And if you want to be in support of either side of what's going on over in Gaza, well then go there. Go there and be a part of it. Or send money to one of the sides or something like that. Why does the Palestinians here have to go and harass the Jews here?
And create violence here.
When neither one of them has anything to do with what's going on in Gaza right now. Now, there will be an argument made somewhere in the comments here at some point. Somebody's going to watch this and comment that synagogue was hosted an event with Israeli real estate. And it is true, they did that for people that want to move back to Israel.
Mm.
Mm.
So the Jews that they have that want to go back to Israel. They had an event where there's this group that helps them find real estate in Israel, and they hosted an event for that. But they're going to claim that, well, they're involved because they're trying to sell land out from underneath the Palestinians.
Somebody's also going to claim that somebody somewhere at one of the protests still has family, so that's how they're involved.
Yeah, well, we all have family all over the place.
Yeah.
You know.
But I can see for that
We're
person
a great
how it would
example of
become...
that.
You don't live
personal.
in our state, Megan, so we
I
have
know.
family at the other end of the United States. You're that family.
I am.
I love you. I don't care about what's going on politically in your area right now.
Oh, no, and I mean, I could say the same vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, I love you guys. I'm obviously out here spending time with you, but I don't necessarily keep track of what's going on here in Arizona as much as I do at home.
Nor should you. Take care of yourself first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, you know, people are crazy. This is just something we're going to have to keep watching. We'll see where it goes. This caught my attention because it's a fairly high-profile synagogue just south of Hollywood.
Mm.
I don't know for certain, but based on its location, it might have been the one that Ben Shapiro used to go to. I don't know, though, so don't quote me on that. But we'll see. It's not begun. It hasn't stopped. I think a lot of people were hoping that it would stop with college stuff, but this will be fun too. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and join us every Monday and Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific for our live show.